مرضي يعني بحاول الناس ان لايف فهمت ازاي؟ مش عشان كده مش عايزة.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, I'm
I'll just
sorry. Well, I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to.
no worries. Amani, let us know once you'll be ready so that we stream live or accept people. Okay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ladies, I'm in the kitchen making coffee. Would you like some?
Please. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I'll just start. Five, four, where is it? Live. Okay. So stream live to my Facebook. I think the time, enough time so that I can log in. Gives you time. Okay. Okay. Europe works this time. Ah, my password. I think it works. Yes. Great. I'll accept people a mini and let's start. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, maybe, wherever you are. Good afternoon. Welcome to another webinar. It's like the eighth webinar from the series of the AIDT SIG, Artificial Intelligence and Digital Technologies Special Interest Group from TESOL conferences, previously TESOL Arabia. And today we're having with us Amany Al Khayat. Our colleague Amany is based in the US. Am I right, Amany? You're based in the US?
Yeah, New York.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I'll briefly introduce Amany, and please let us know in the chat where you're joining us today. And thank you everybody for tuning in for another webinar series. So Amany is a well-known expert in the field. So I've been fond of whatever Amany is doing for a long time ago. Amany served as a leader in the TESOL field at a lot of mini groups, let's say. So today I'll try to kind of summarize a little bit some of the milestones of Amany. So Amany is an expert in instructional technology and AI enhanced immersive learning. She's currently pursuing her ADED in instructional technology and media at Teachers College, Columbia University. With over 2 decades of teaching experience, she specializes in designing impactful learning experiences using conversational AI, AI persona design, extended reality XR, virtual reality VR. Amany serves as the adjunct professor at the New York Institute of Technology, where she teaches courses including human computer interaction, VR, UX design, and advanced UX research. Apart from being a researcher, Amany lectures at the Media University of Applied Design in Germany. She delivers an innovative course on AI companion design, focusing on AI-powered conversational UX. So along with this, as I mentioned before, Amany is a TESOL leader as well. Amany is the founder and chair of the New York TESOL Technology Enhanced Language Learning SIG Special Interest Group at the Virtual TEL Conference, where she continues to advance the integration of emerging technologies into educational context. She's also the co-founder and the CEO of Lingua Tech Inc. and a Udemy instructor, sharing her expertise with learners and with us today. Amany, thank you so much for accepting to be here with us today. I made sure I read your bio, Amany, because I want to really give you the exact honor you have it for being with us today. Thank you again, Amany, and welcome to the AIDT Thick.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yusra, and thank you for inviting me. It's really a great honor. TESOL Dubai. It's like it's actually the first conference that I presented in my TESOL career, and it's always like great, like even to be like in like to collaborate with the institution in Dubai, even virtually. So today I'm gonna share with you some of the things that I've done in the past with the educators. So in the summer, I trained some educators on how to use AI tools. So I just chose some tools. Maybe you know them all. I don't know, but or maybe you don't know. And so I'm gonna. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. I'm gonna talk about AI enhanced language learning and also some insights from my doctoral dissertation. And so, why AI for language learning? Actually, for many, many years, we've been doing artificial intelligence. It's always makes me like when I talk with researchers who do conversational AI or AI enhanced language learning, we usually get angry because when somebody starts talking about AI, this people say ChatGPT, and we're like, no, it was before ChatGPT, but we had some issues, and so AI research on AI before ChatGPT, they said that AI has potential. So we've been using AI for a long time, but not generative AI because it's kind of different. The way it works is different. And so you can have like there is a famous AI tool that actually doesn't use generative AI, and that was built before ChatGPT. It's called Tutor Mike, and actually published a research paper on it. And I'm not the only one. There are actually well-known research papers that published on that. And it was good for learners, but it would frustrate people. And we're going to talk about why it would frustrate the students. And so, um, intelligent. So, in the field of call, we also call it intelligent computer-assisted language learning. And so before large language models, AI relied on hard-coded rules. Okay, and so if anybody remembers, like the Turing test back in 1950s, when Alan Turing had this mathematical problem, and then he came up with this idea. It's kind of like a gaming. It's kind of like a game where you have a person in a room and a computer in another room, and then they are chatting with humans and they are trying to convince each that who is conversing with you is a human. And then afterwards, we had Eliza and AliceBot and all of these things. But all of these chatbots, they used to work using pattern matching, like Eliza, for example. So if you say, I'm sad, the chatbot would take the sentence that you provided, and then it would ask you a question, why are you sad? And then it would ask another question. Okay, so this is called pattern matching. Or it was rule based. So rule based means that you might say hello, and then the chatbot would answer with hi or whatever. But the problem with rule based chatbots is that if you just said, for example, hi, I am instead of I am or something, it wouldn't understand you. The same as Alexa. Rule-based models are based on or are coded according to certain few sentences. And if you type something that's different, it wouldn't actually understand you. And so that was the problem. So this problem frustrated many students, and you can see in many research papers um, like pedagogical bots or embodied AI agents that were before large language models, and so it lacked context, and also it was nuanced. It wasn't nuanced. So when you talk to ChatGPT now, whatever you say, there is a response. It might have issues. The responses might have issues, but it gives you a response. Whereas in the past, when researchers did research on conversational AI and how it improved language learning, it was very rigid, and the feedback was binary. So it's either correct or incorrect. If you said something that was not programmed in the bot, the chatbot wouldn't understand you. And also, voices were robotic. And learners felt frustrated. So, if you look at research papers that looked at how chatbots are useful or usability, there's like many well-known researchers like Biba Wu. I hope I pronounce his name correctly, or Freyer and Carpenter. So they have provided lots of research papers on the usability of chatbots, and also how they improve, and what's the potential of chatbots. And so now we have the generative the shift after Google has published their research paper on the attention model. We started to see the revolution or the breakthrough of generative AI. And so large language models changed everything by focusing on probability and context. And this is actually one of the things, one of the issues. Yes, it relies on statistics and it can produce things, but we're going to talk about the risks later. So instead of matching keywords, AI understands the intent behind the words, allowing for infinite variation of correct answers. Actually, the word intent has been a recurring theme in UX design, in like in the user experience design in terms of virtual assistants and intelligent agents. And so when we design them, even if we design them using applied AI, like designing Alexa, you don't need to understand coding to design Alexa. I mean, you can use templates, but you have to understand what the user will say. Generative AI has made this easy for us, but also there are some challenges as well that we're going to talk about. And so what I want to say is that large language models have changed all the obstacles or have made it much easier that we no longer have problems in terms of context or in terms of relevance. We're asking questions. AI remembers what we've said maybe 2 hours ago. It has a memory, and this has made it more possible to facilitate learning. Yeah, I need to click this. Okay. The most important thing that I see, and also I've included it in my research, and also there have been a lot of criticisms in terms of research on, okay, so how we use technology in general. And there have been a lot of criticism on over reliance on technology without the teacher facilitating that. And in my research, I tried to like, okay, so to fill this gap. So there are sometimes we use technology. I mean, not all of us, but this is a criticism in research. Like we don't show or we don't know how to integrate technology the right way. And sometimes we feel like if we give the students a lot of technology, this will solve the problem, which is not. I mean, I did a study with 55 students, and I actually divided them into three groups. The first group was the control group. The second was AI, ChatGPT. And the third group was immersive AI, which is they wear the headset and they interact with an AI avatar in mixed reality. And what I did was that I used task-based language teaching. And so um, what I did was that first the students would TBLT has three stages: the pre-task, during, and post. And so the pre-task, you start priming the students and using more about activities so that they can understand the vocabulary that's needed. You elicit information from the students, and then they get into activities. So the classroom is 4 hours. Okay, so the during task is only 20 minutes where the students practice with the AI, and I actually control this by giving them specific questions, and I also give them specific instructions. And for the students who would do that with ChatGPT, I also give them prompt engineering, but I also train them on how to use prompt engineering, how to ask questions. And they are instructed not to deviate or not to ask questions that do not relate to the lesson. And they will have to send me their chat logs. Okay, so they will have to send me their chat logs because I want to see if they were practicing or not. And then they are timed for 20 minutes. They would do role play activities with artificial intelligence based on my prompt because I want to control it. So I know how to do prompt engineering. They are second language learners. They don't know how to do it, but then they are trained at the beginning on how to use that with AI. And then I would look at it and then I would give them feedback. And then the last task is reflection, asking questions. What did you benefit? And I also train them as well. And what I've seen from my research is that the students liked the activities, they were very satisfied, but also they underscored the importance of a human teacher. So that was very important for me. So we can still have jobs. So because they said they also mentioned the human connection, which was very important for them. And so if we use TBLT or task-based language teaching, we integrate that in the pre-task, so we can, for example, like use AI to instantly generate task materials tailored to specific interests. Okay, and we can use it also as an AI partner. So this is what I did in my research. So AI acts as a conversational partner. In my research, I actually made it act as a teacher because I did a research paper in the past, and then I was like, okay, so how you do it as a research partner if it speaks um, like better than the students, or it's kind of acts as a native speaker. And so we can actually instruct AI to be as a partner, like a restaurant server, for example, or a receptionist, or whatever has to do with the lesson. And then we put them in a scenario, and then the task is to negotiate a refund with the AI shopkeeper. And then AI can also give like so it can provide a language that aligns with the situation. And also we can ask artificial intelligence to give us feedback. And the post
كده
task based
بدأ
feedback is after the task. We provide the detailed breakdown, so you can ask artificial intelligence to give us feedback. And AI can say, you were grammatically correct, but too rude for a formal setting, for example. Try using refund instead of money back next time. Fluency, you paused frequently when using the past tense, for example. So you can upload your rubric, for example, or you can send it. So I usually send the rubric to my students in Canvas, and then it's a what's it called? It's a learning management system, and then they can just copy and paste it on ChatGPT, and then they can get feedback from ChatGPT. Of course, well, I'm going to talk about human in the loop, where the teacher has to intervene in every step of the way because there are a lot of risks when using artificial intelligence that the students are not aware of. And we actually mentioned it in our research paper. It's generative AI and culturally relevant pedagogy. I would love to share it with everyone. It's on the internet. If you're interested to read it. It was actually the author was Dr. Chen Cheng Lin. She's very well known in culturally relevant pedagogy, and I was really honored to collaborate with her. And so I'm gonna share some tools. So the first one is ChatGPT. So we can use it for role play activities, grammar explanation, writing correction. There are a lot of things that we can use ChatGPT and I know that you know that, but actually I've been using ChatGPT like doing other stuff. So
Um,
you can use the voice mode, which I did use it in my research, and you can also turn any topic into a lesson. This is something that I did, and I also presented it in another in a conference and also in Evo. So have you heard of Twinery? Has anyone heard of Twinery or not?
not very familiar with the name.
Nobody is familiar with the name. Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So Twinery is choose your own adventure or choose your own path, kind of game. You can actually code it as a game, and ChatGPT and Gemini, they can tell you how to code it. But I just created just a choose your own. It's an what's it called? It's kind of like it's fiction, but I don't remember the name exactly now. It's yeah, I forgot the name, but it's kind of like choose your own adventure game or choose your own path. And let me show you how I did it. So this is I uploaded it to Twitch, I think. Yeah, I think this is switch, but I'm not sure why it's giving me this. And then I'm gonna, so you see here, welcome. It should say my name, but this is after I'm gonna put my name. Okay, so welcome Amani to the intro. So it would change it. You can make a lot of things with this. So let's say, for example, you want to teach your students about bullying at schools. Okay, and you want them to be motivated to read. So this activity was created in order to motivate second language learners to read about something that could relate to them maybe in the past, and I wanted them, and then I had questions on Canvas. So welcome Amani to the enchanted schoolyard. In a magical realm hidden from the ordinary world, there lay a fantastical school known as Enchanted Schoolyard. And then there are three characters in this schoolyard. So there is Alex. This is the guy who is being bullied. Ilara is a bystander. So she's involved in the conversations, but she's scared of Gideon. So Gideon is the one who is bullying Alex, and so you need, as a student, to take the role of Alex. And so Alec is a hedgehog, so I didn't want to put them as persons. So I created this with ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT to start a choose your own adventure. I created the characters, and then ChatGPT would give me this text and then these options. Okay, I would read them first, and then um, I would decide whether these are good for the theme or not, for the theme or for the topic, and whether I should use them or not. If I'm not satisfied, I would ask ChatGPT to change some of the information in the story and then give me a new one. It was really hectic, actually. Twinery is not an easy one, but as long like once you understand how to use it, it becomes really interesting and you can upload it easily. So it gives you choices. Stay calm. All of these were generated by ChatGPT. Stay calm and composed. Respond with dignity. So it will make you choose either the role or the choice. And then once you read it, the student will be very curious to and this was created like 2 years ago. So you can see like this also was generated by DALI 2. It's not like as good as now, but it does what you want it to do. And so you start reading and then interacting with the reading passage, and it's really interesting because once the students interact with it, so I used generative AI as a teacher. The students didn't do generative AI, but I created something, a reading passage for the students, in order for them to interact with it. And it actually, I've done it maybe in 3 hours, but I was really motivated to do it. So I did it with the Gen AI. Okay. So it's called the Enchanted Schoolyard. I'd be happy to share it with you um, later after this presentation. If you're interested, I don't have the text. I actually deleted one of my ChatGPT, but I'd be happy if anybody wanted me to share like how to do that. 11 Labs, I think you know 11 Labs, but there are actually other ones that are free. I think there is Humane. Humane is free. It has some voices. Unfortunately, 11 Labs has very limited voices. And if you want something that can be lively or energetic, I don't think you would be able to do that with 11 Labs. But I think there is Humane. There are a lot of tools actually that compete with 11 Labs. There is also Well Said. Well Said is one of the most fabulous AI tools. Actually, I love it more than 11 Labs, and it was also before 11 Labs. Well Said is really amazing. It's not for free, but sometimes I have some hacks to record whatever I want to record and then share it. So these are tools that we can use in order to generate some scenarios. for the students. And of course, there are like Kling, if you want to create a video. There are many tools that we can use and combine together in order to create maybe videos with sounds and stuff like that, so that we can also engage students in interesting learning experience. But the thing is that at the end of the day, I'm very more oriented to pedagogy first and then technology. But also, I'm not sure if you read this research paper. It's called, I'm just writing it, Entangled Pedagogy. So it's also one of the most fabulous research papers that I've read. It's a framework. It's called Entangled Pedagogy. And Entangled Pedagogy says that, okay, so the old argument, pedagogy before technology or technology before pedagogy, should stop now, because it's not we're not dealing with pedagogy and technology only. We're also dealing with students, school materials and stuff like that. And so, as teachers or educators or programs, we should actually have like analyze the situation in front of us. Like, for example, the students' levels, their needs, the school materials. Like, for example, in the U.S., when we do teaching, professional development for educators in New York, sometimes I come up with something that's really interesting, but they say, does it align with Google? Because Google Classroom or something, because there are some guidelines in New York City that teachers have to use certain tools that are accepted by the school. And if they are not, they won't be able to use it. Whereas in higher education, because I teach in higher education, we are free to use whatever we want as long as it serves the students. Okay. Suno. Sono is for songs, okay? So you can actually create songs. Like you can if students like poetry, for example, sometimes we've had classes in the past where we actually have students practice the language through writing poetry. And so what Suno does is that you can either create your song, and then um and then it will generate the music. It will generate like three options, or you can ask it to create something. You explain the theme, and then it will generate it for you. And I remember in the past also we used to have jazz chants. So you can also create certain songs or something, and then the students can also create their own, and then they can memorize it. I remember when I was a child, I used to, of course, we didn't have like internet in the past, but um, I used to listen to the song and then try to write down the lyrics, and this helped my English very well. And so I feel like this is also one of the things that we could use in the classroom. I teach in a one community college here in the U.S., and she said the program director said, if you want to use songs, that's fine. So I used songs in my class. I also used the, like, I have my students talk about someone, and then they would put this into Gemini, and then they would generate an image, and they would see if that person relates, if the image that was generated by Gemini relate. And then later on we would write, so if that person is a friend, we would also write a poem about friendship, and then we go and ask Suno to put this poem, and then put songs, create a song for that. Perplexity. How many of you? I think everybody knows Perplexity. So Perplexity is a great tool. It cites live web sources, which I really love, because Google started to do the same. So when you ask Google a question, it gives you a summary. The problem of this summary is that sometimes it's wrong. Like, sorry, is that sometimes the summary that it gives you is wrong, like has wrong information. And so what I do is that I don't trust AI. I've been using AI a lot, to the extent that I'm very skeptical. So what I do is that I fact check. So I look at these websites, and then I start reading, and then I'm like, okay, at least it gave me some um, like some summary. But as a human, I have to fact check, and I have to know Okay, if what I'm given is true or not. The problem now that we see with the students is that they take it for granted, unfortunately. And I was last year, I think it was last year. My son was prepping for the SAT exam, and he's an engineering school, but he was prepping for the English, and ChatGPT explained something in English grammar that first he took it for granted, although he's a native speaker. And native speakers in the US, they don't learn grammar, unfortunately. And so they don't learn even punctuation. They just get it like this through reading. So they read a lot. They have to read a lot. They're okay. And so I was like, no, this is not true. And then he said, but this is what ChatGPT said. And I was like, don't take ChatGPT for granted. Just and then we started looking on the internet, looking for rules because he doesn't believe me. And then it turned out that ChatGPT was lying. And so we need to fact check. And this is what I love about Perplexity. So Perplexity can also show us because it will derive from some websites, and this is what we actually face. Cultural nuances and social nuances in large language models are not actually there. So what Perplexity does is that it would draw some articles about culture, about stuff, so that we can read and I could also summarize it. But as I usually say, don't take ChatGPT summary for granted. You have to read it, and then you also have to fact check. Twee. Has anyone heard of Twee?
Yes, yes, yes.
I love this.
Love it so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's built specifically for ESL. I actually on my YouTube channel, I did the like five. So in the summer, I invited teachers to for a free workshop on free workshops on generative AI, and I'm actually preparing for a course on based on a research paper that we're gonna publish. It's about pedagogical innovation for academic writing and academic honesty. And so, how, as educators, we ask students to do academic writing, how we make sure that they don't plagiarize using AI. So, this is going to be an upcoming course. And so, Twee is amazing. You can generate lessons using Twee. Yeah, so I thought that Diffit was after that. Elsa Speak. Um, so Elsa is also is a very well known application. So it uses specialized speech recognition trained on non-native accents, which actually a problem that we've had in the past. And then it would give you feedback and would also give you a score. Duolingo also, what Duolingo did is that they also included the personas. Like certain characters. There is, I think, Layla. I don't remember the name now. But one of the things that we actually do in language learn, or I mean, in creating embodied conversational AI or intelligent agents from a user experience perspective, is that and this is actually something that I would love like teachers to practice is that when we create an AI agent for students, we have to understand our students' needs, not only grammatically or pragmatically, but also their personas, what they like. And I actually did that so what I usually do is that I create a Google form where I ask the students questions and how do you like your study partner? And then I start creating different chatbots with different personas. And then I start testing it with students. And the students actually start to like it. And I actually, one of my workshops, but that was like a user experience design. I asked participants after they received the welcome messages from these chatbots and also some activities, and they actually compared the activities. Each group had a different chatbot persona, but the same activity. They said, no, we like this chatbot. They started actually to have an emotional connection with this chatbot. And and they actually started to draw. So I asked them to draw like the faces of these chatbots. And I found really an interesting thing that the students who had the same chatbot, some of them created similar traits, similar facial traits, which was really interesting to see. So Duolingo is really interesting. It also has like um, some AI, embodied AI characters, and it also has many conversations with characters. DeepL, this is actually something that I did myself as an example. So DeepL is for translation and writing mode. And so what it does, which I don't know, I don't like, but it's good for people who are interested to see like maybe a better solution or better advice. So I actually pasted this. This is from Wikipedia, and then so you either have options like the styles, so you can have academic style or casual or whatever, and then it would start giving you alternatives. I actually yeah, this can if people want quick feedback about the writing, this can be good. But I usually what I do is that I ask ChatGPT to make very minimal edits. Don't edit it. Just give me your feedback. So tell me what I did wrong in my writing, and I like ChatGPT more than Gemini in this. So ChatGPT is really good in giving feedback. Gemini, I don't know, like it takes a long time for me to understand me. But sometimes I use it for other stuff. So Gemini can be very good for design, for image generation. ChatGPT can be very good in feedback. And so I use ChatGPT I would say don't give me any editing. Don't edit my work. Just give me feedback and tell me how to do it better. And then I would take the advice and then I would do it myself. Like I would not copy and paste the solution. Yeah, this it's really good in that. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, DeepL. Um, Summarization tools. I think everybody knows Quillbot. I like Quillbot. And I've seen research papers that have been using Quillbot for language learning. It's good for comprehensible input. I mean, you can actually try to summarize things or even paraphrase. So it's not only for summarization, it's also for paraphrase. And also, it has many services. And so you can put native content. And then, I mean, if you are on a free account, you don't have many options. But it can also summarize in concise summaries of long videos. And it allows learners to grasp the main idea before watching or making the native content easier to understand. The other, sorry, I didn't put that here, but YouTube does the same thing. And I like YouTube because sometimes I don't have time to watch specific videos, or I watch the video and I know that there are certain instances where I just want to remind myself. And so I ask YouTube, okay, so do you remember that quote that they mentioned? Can you just repeat it for me? What's the main takeaway of this presentation? And so um, the thing is that you have to watch the presentation also. You can't just ask YouTube before watching it, because the problem is AI also relies on its assumptions. And so if I rely on AI's assumption, but the YouTuber has talks about something else, and we as humans sometimes we understand these nuances, so it's better to watch and read. Um, I think so. The last tool is immersive AI. I know that some has tried Frame, but has anyone tried Convey? There is Convey, there is Engage XR, and there is also Horizon Worlds. So these are in the headset. Okay, so these are in the headset. I mean, Engage XR is also on desktop and also on your mobile phone. So Frame VR, I can show you Frame. So uh, 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 this is called Frame VR. It's a virtual reality platform, and I created this, I think in 2021 or 2020. It's called Dollhouse. Okay. Dollhouse is based on Henrik Ibsen's novel, A Doll's House, and it's about gender inequality. And it was in the 19th century, and everything here is symbolic. Okay. It's two scenes, but I don't know what's wrong with the frame. Sometimes when they do the what's it called the updates, things get messy. And so this is the second scene. So what happened is that I conducted a study with a professor in Prince Sultan University. We were colleagues. I used to work at Prince Sultan University in Saudi Arabia, and we did the sentiment analysis of students' emotions. I think around 80 students. We brought them here into the space, and that was before artificial intelligence, and we talked about gender inequality. Actually, in another pilot study, we had the um, I'm gonna have the people, 8 people, join the room. Okay. Um,
I can do
hmm.
it.
Oh, I did it. Sorry. um, Okay. So we in a pilot study we actually had people join the room and people not joining the room watching a video. So what happened was that those who joined virtual reality, the even male students, they were really impacted by the novel. Like this is the living room in the first scene, and also these are like certain things. Okay, so what I did later was create this AI, and I also created the knowledge bank. Her name is Sasha. Okay, and chat. Okay, I can't see. Sorry. And then she would start talking. Hi, Sasha. She would start talking. You can ask her questions about. Tell me summary. So students can ask questions to artificial intelligence, and they can ask about the themes. There have been a lot of themes in this in this novel, or sorry, in this play, and they can communicate with her, and yeah, about the novel. There are actually many themes that are there, like the bank, the money, the Christmas tree, because it was actually that it was actually the first thing that you see in Act One, and so yeah, I mean they can ask many questions about the play. Um, okay, I just need to charge my my laptop. Is it okay? Sorry about that.
Of course, Amini, please take your time. And please let us know in the chat if you used Frame VR or any other platform. Let's say with virtual reality, we have Second Life, we have Frame VR. So if you use it in class, can you tell us more about this experience, please, in the chat? I use it myself, it's amazing. I use it with my students. Also, I use it for a teacher training. It was in Egypt last summer, and it was hilarious, especially when we had to create our avatars. And everybody enjoys it. And if we have the chance today, maybe we can try it, or else maybe other times for another webinar. I think, Amani, you're ready to go?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the convey. So Convey is a gaming application where teachers can also use in creating their own embodied conversational AI. Engage XR is also another platform where you have like four intelligent agents. Each one has a different a different task. So there's the English teacher, the French teacher, the teacher who can actually help you create the skyboxes and 3D there. Horizon Worlds is also that's Meta's virtual reality thing, but you need to have access to their engine, and this is like yeah. So you need to have access to their engine and also their AI tools, which is still in beta. So yeah, so there are only people who have, I think, have been to their workshops, have access to some of these tools. But these are amazing tools where you can immerse your learners into an immersive worlds where they can interact, and then they can learn. The human in the loop. This is a recurring theme since we started talking about artificial intelligence. Are teachers going to be obsolete? Of course not. So, but I mean, the role shift since we have generative artificial intelligence as something that can provide personalized and individualized learning, where we can control it, not just leave it to students so that they can chat with it and trust it. But what I've seen through my research is that and this is actually what computer assisted language learning research have been talking about, like in Phil Hubbard's book An Invitation to Call. He's always been talking about a teacher as a facilitator, or I mean mentioning research talking about a teacher as a facilitator, computers as social actors, computers as tutors. Okay, um, so the problem is in my study, when I was talking to students and explaining things, when they don't understand me, what they do is that they turn to their peer and then they ask them in Spanish, in French, in Arabic, or other language. Okay, so that doesn't help learning. But in my study, when I had students learn from artificial intelligence, because I can't give, you have 25 students in the classroom, you have limited time, you can't give personalized learning to everyone. Okay, and they all of them have many questions. Some of them have anxiety. And so using AI, you can facilitate learning in terms of, I asked, and this was really wonderful. So students who use ChatGPT can speak in different languages, okay? And some of them have Android, which was, I'm not an Android user. And so what happened is that I realized that Android has a feature where it can translate automatically your AI, your interface. So the students were disappointed at first because it was translated into Spanish. And ChatGPT started speaking in Spanish. And they said, no, we want to speak English. We don't want to speak Spanish. So it was really motivating students to speak in the second language. And when I asked them why, they said it's not human. So I wouldn't be embarrassed if I made a mistake. And so, that was really interesting to see how students would use artificial intelligence and their perceptions about AI. And when I asked the students to send me their chat logs, when they sent it to me, I've never seen any like other language. It's only English. And the students made mistakes. Whereas when I was teaching the control group or the traditional group, they often spoke in their first language. And we always talk about L1 interference. Whereas I feel like, and even in the scores later, the students who used artificial intelligence, they scored higher because they had to speak in English with AI. And at the same time, it's not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing to them if they made mistakes. And there aren't others around them who would, maybe they fear of their judgment. And so we as teachers, we act as facilitators. I mean, that's within the time we have them use artificial intelligence. So it's we spend, and then that's why we're going to spend less time explaining rules and more time designing tasks, guiding students to the right AI tools and verifying content. So this is very important. And the human connection, which is something that also like when I interviewed all my students, they said, well, a teacher is irreplaceable. AI, we use it as a tool to help us, but you are important to us because when you look at our faces, you understand that we are struggling. Uh, when we when we make mistakes, you correct us right away. And so they said that the human teacher is more important than artificial intelligence because of this human connection and engagement. But AI serves as a tool to make students practice more freely without anxiety. Okay, to click here. Yeah. So, but the thing is, yeah, we talk a lot about the benefits of artificial intelligence, but we have risks and ethical considerations. I listed three, but there is a fourth one that like makes me sometimes angry. Hallucinations. So AI usually hallucinates, and sometimes it would give you fake information. Unfortunately, with some of the API keys, so ChatGPT introduced the Explore that was a few years ago, and Explore has to do with companies who provide their services through ChatGPT. Unfortunately, um, even on Scholar GPT, if you ask it to provide you with maybe you have a research question and you wanted to list some research papers, it would give you inaccurate research papers, and then I have to say, well, these research papers are not does not exist do not exist, and you have to verify it. And I even when it gives me when it connects to the website, I have to check every single research paper, and I have to read it because I just need something that's really quick so that I can find research papers. Bias. So AI is trained on our own text, and people are biased by nature. Okay. And so we need to make sure when we teach our students to use artificial intelligence that they are aware of these biases and privacy. So I heard recently that there are some companies that actually uses your data so that they can train on them. So we need to make sure that we understand that and we are aware of this. The fourth one is sycophancy. And this is what we mentioned in our research paper about culturally relevant pedagogy and generative AI. Sycophancy, which I see there is a difference between ChatGPT and Gemini. So Google is leading in voice user interface design. It's a field where they were leaders in Google Assistant, so they know exactly how to design a chatbot. Whereas ChatGPT designed OpenAI designed ChatGPT to be a sycophant. Why? Because to keep you addicted to it. People who don't eh, like who don't realize that this is an AI agent, it's a machine, they would actually accept what it's saying. And there is an interesting story that I actually had to track because I didn't believe it. So there was a woman in the Mediterranean area who there was something like a trend on TikTok where there was a TikTok trend where people were uploading their coffee cups so that they can do like fortune, it's like a fortune reading or something. And you know that there are some traditions where people drink coffee, it's like Turkish or Greek coffee, and then they read like about their future. I don't know how they are convinced of this, but there was a woman who uploaded her coffee cup and asked ChatGPT to read it. And ChatGPT told her that her husband is cheating on her. And so what she did was she printed out this the result or the output, and then she went to court, and then she filed for divorce, and then she put this as an evidence. And so it's really an issue that many people think that artificial intelligence knows a lot. Okay, or it's just a statistical model. That's it. It works on probability. So and it's based on trillions and trillions of data. And so we need to be aware of all these ethical considerations, especially with young students, because they might believe it, and they would think since it generates something like that, I would just take it for a homework and stuff like that. So the future, I believe that the future, because it's actually happening. Um, so many companies are creating smart glasses, and actually there are really good. Like Meta's smart glass Orion. It's actually made for people with disabilities like vision impairment, and it would actually you wear the glasses, and then if you want to go somewhere, it actually gives you arrows and directions and stuff like that. So it would help people with disability, which was really good. It's really beautiful. But also we need to understand the risks behind artificial intelligence and the data that it collects around us. Also, augmented reality glasses that can subtitle the world around us. I'm not sure if you watched this movie. It's called Hyper Reality. I would love if you watch it. It's by Matsuda. It's about what's gonna happen to the future like with the wearable technology. So I believe that wearable technology are gonna become cheaper and cheaper, and people are gonna start using them. But addiction, these companies root for addiction, and they want us to be addicted using these tools. So what could be some ethical issues and risks around using these tools? Um, and what could be some ethical issues if an AI avatar can see our facial expressions and adjust their speaking speed accordingly? What's going to happen to us in the future as educators? I feel like this is really, really not going to be recent. But I'm not sure if, yeah, I mean, the technology is advancing, and we are still learning, and so I'm not sure about the pace of technology and learning and how is that going to happen. But I believe that AI tools are very beneficial, and the most important thing is that we use them with caution, and we always remind our students uh, that in the future when they graduate, they need to make sure that they use AI tools ethically and they know how to use them, because most companies now around us, like especially in the US, I'm not sure about other countries, when they hire people, they hire those who understand how to use artificial intelligence, not those who don't know how to use it, or not those who rely on it without understanding it. So the future is augmented intelligence, as Dr. Chris Didi usually says. He's a well-known professor in the area of education, and so it's augmented intelligence where humans and AI collaborate for the good. Yeah, and yeah, and so we've moved from rigid rule-based chatbots to context-aware conversation, and so I hope that artificial intelligence can augment our intelligence and can maybe move away some of the burden that we have when we teach and we have to correct and stuff like that. But I feel like it's better also that sometimes we understand students' work first before we use artificial intelligence, because it also has assumptions. But in the end, we as educators will always remain the vital guide. And AI will, I hope that AI will always be just the tool that would handle the heavy lifting of practice and feedback, and it wouldn't replace us. Because I've seen that a few institutions now are replacing teachers with artificial intelligence, and they are happy about it. I don't know why they are happy about it, but I feel like we're going to be devoid of this human connection in the future if people were happy about using artificial intelligence. So, at the end, I would say we have to maintain the human connection with students. We use AI to augment our intelligence and for proficiency, and not to replace us with artificial intelligence. And thank you so much.
What an amazing session. Good evening, Amani. How are you?
Oh, hi. How are you? You're
I'm
Azam?
doing well. Yes, had the
Uh,
pleasure of
Aram, sorry.
attending multiple of your webinars. Every time I learn something
Oh,
new,
really?
I enjoy them so much. I
Thank
did.
you so much. I'm
Uh,
humbled.
I loved kind of also connecting with you at the end, kind of when you were saying that, you know, AI is kind of on this exponential growth path more than the linear path we expected it to have. So I guess like 3 years ago when this discussion started, teachers, we were like, yeah, no, we're safe. AI can't take our job. It could never do what we do. But I
Mm,
feel like, every day passes and that conversation is starting to shift a little bit.
yeah.
Kind of like you said, we have to stay relevant by training ourselves on these tools, making use of them rather than having them, outsmart us or replace us.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
what an amazing session.
Yeah.
I'm going to open the floor, as you showed, for questions. If
Yeah,
anybody has a
sure.
question, we would love you just to raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you can go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll switch into gallery mode to see everybody. Alrighty. So, while we wait for maybe one of the attendees to pop up, I kind of have a question for you if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, and I'll get to you right away, Flamin, right after this. In the world of AI, we kind of mentioned different tools. Which one does this? Which one does that? Is there a tool where you find it's kind of your go-to for everything? I myself, I try multiple ones. I, fiddle around here, I fiddle around there, but I always find myself kind of coming back to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Um, I just find it kind of the most useful nowadays. How about you? Do you have something like that as well?
Okay, so I've been using multiple tools. Have you heard of Elicit?
Illicit?
You've used
I have
Elicit.
not. No.
Ah, okay. So because I've been working on research, so I loved using Elicit because it
Hmm.
doesn't hallucinate. So that was only for research. And
Okay.
it would give you like a summary, but unfortunately, because maybe they need more people to pay,
Hmm.
they reduced it instead of 10 research papers, now it's two only,
Okay.
which was really, really frustrating. But I returned back to ChatGPT. So it's ChatGPT and Gemini. Gemini is really good because it has many services.
Hmm.
It can have you make your Canvas. So through Canvas you can create your PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
It's really amazing, and then you can export it um, to Google Slides. It's amazing. The other thing, if anybody is interested in coding,
Hmm.
so Google, of course, has Google Colab, and also it can generate like code in inside the canvas, and you can ask it, okay, no, do this, do that, and it will do it, and then it will generate it. So Canvas is really good. What I
Hmm.
like about ChatGPT, so I often use ChatGPT or Gemini. ChatGPT is good for giving me feedback. Also, one of the problems, I applied for two grants and I was accepted. So sometimes I ask it for feedback, and that
Okay.
was before the grant. So ChatGPT said, "It's awesome. It's beyond exceptional." And I was like, "No, you're a sycophant. No, give me the truth."
Yeah.
And it kind of tried to align with my expectations. It didn't change its persona. And it was
Hmm.
like, instead of giving me 9.5, it gave me 8.5. And it says, the grant may not be guaranteed. I was like, you're kidding me. It's like you're aligning. I mentioned that it's a sycophant, and that's why it's kind of like giving me what I want, not instead
Yeah.
of giving me something. But I asked Gemini, so I rely usually on ChatGPT
Hmm.
and Gemini, but ChatGPT for most of the time, to be honest, because ChatGPT also has the GPT Explorer.
Hmm.
So if I want statistical data, I would go to Statistics GPT. So it's really handy. I also
Get it.
have an account on, I think Scholar G. It's I don't remember the name. I forgot the name because I use the Scholar this research GPT on ChatGPT. It's
Hmm.
much better. So I think because all of us who are familiar with ChatGPT, we tend to use it more than
Sure.
other tools. But also Gemini is incredible. Sometimes I would use ChatGPT to create a prompt for Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah, there is actually prompt engineering for in the Explore GPT. It's really
Hmm.
good. So I would write it down and then, but sometimes I would compare between both prompts.
Yeah,
Like I would see which one would work better.
I get you. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have a
Flamen,
question from
yeah,
Adnan. I think Adnan is raising his hand, Aram. So yes, Adnan, could you please unmute
yes.
yourself and
There's
ask?
just Flamen just before him, and then we'll get to Adnan right away.
Plamen first. Okay, I
Thanks
didn't
so
see.
much, everybody. It's great to see everybody here. Thank you so much, Amani. I think a lot of the things that you said do resonate with my experiences said and my perceptions. I think in the field of language education, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we are lagging behind. I think we're still navigating this love-hate relationship. I think a lot of the teachers are still deciding, should I or should I not use the tools, and which kind of invites us to revisit our teacher roles and also think about if we are really addressing the needs of our learners. In my context, I don't often get the positive reaction of my students, like when I'm introducing the tools, especially for in-person classes. Some of the students say, you are a human teacher. Why are you sending us to ChatGPT? Why are you asking us to do that? But they also start to realize the potential that they hold. So I guess my question for you is, how do you talk to your students about AI literacy? And do you think that all of the students have the positive reaction, the positive attitude to the integration of generative AI? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a great question. So I will just tackle the first comment about teachers. It's have been in research using technology acceptance model. The teachers sometimes are reluctant to use technology in the classroom, and I think sometimes that can be due to professional development. And so, how do we get? It's not only professional development; it's also how the school is integrating this into the teacher's syllabus. So, how I do that meaningfully. This has been like not extensively, unfortunately, not extensively explored by research. Most of the research just does self-reports, and that's it, without actually doing like workshops and then following up with the teachers. As far as I have read, maybe there have been other research in language learning, but I've read like lots of research papers, and this is what I came up with. The other thing is that um, for students, it depends on the proficiency level. So sometimes there are student levels levels where we can't. It's gonna be really difficult to use technology with the students. So for example, sometimes for fun, but also to make students understand like content, I use Kahoot. I also use Genially. So Genially is a platform where you can create either something like presentations or games. I also use sometimes ChatGPT. It depends. So in the past, like this semester and last semester, I've been using ChatGPT a lot for oral practice. And so what I did was that I told my students, okay, so I made it really like I kind of acted. So it's not acted. It's like when you show the students that this is really difficult for you. So I was teaching ESP, English for Specific Purposes. And some of the students come to me and like, okay, how do I answer this for engineering? And I'm like, I don't have any engineering background. And this is also supported by research, limited teacher knowledge and limited curriculum. Okay. And so I would tell them, okay, so I really don't have this. So why not use ChatGPT and then do a role play activity? And I will send you the what's it called? The prompt. And then that's how I did my study. Of course, after doing IRB, internal institutional review board. The other thing, when it comes to writing, I noticed in 2023 that some of my students, two of my students, started using ChatGPT, and they generated essays using ChatGPT, and that was like at the very beginning of people knowing about ChatGPT. And I started actually, I didn't reprimand them. I didn't judge them. I know that many students in the US, especially in the US, they work, so they have full-time job or part-time jobs, and then they do ESL so that they can improve their lifestyle and maybe continue education later. So I was like, okay, so if you, would you rather ride an Uber car with a human driver or Uber with AI? This happens in California now. And they said, no, of course, we prefer to ride a car with a human driver. I'm like, okay, so if you use ChatGPT to replace you, one day you will be replaced. If you don't know the skills of the English language, like in terms of writing, organization, you will be replaced one day and you won't be able to get to college. So that's number one. Number two, ChatGPT doesn't know our rubric, my expectations as an educator. When we write essays, we write it in a certain way. Okay. And when ChatGPT writes it, it doesn't write the thesis statement or like the way that we teach it. And especially that the student will not tell ChatGPT how to write the essay and how many words or how many paragraphs. Okay, because when you write so there is a term in computer science, it's called garbage in, garbage out. And so if you don't know how to write the prompt, the output, especially as a non-native speaker with a low proficiency level, the output will not be what the teacher expects. And the other thing, if you're if you are a high beginner, which means that you use the present simple and maybe at least past simple, ChatGPT would write present perfect or future perfect or whatever. So I would know right away that you cheated. Okay, so I would just raise their awareness in terms of like the risks. The other thing, I would flip the conversation in terms of, okay, why not use it just to give us feedback and improve our language? And then I took the conversation from there, and then I trained the students on how to, instead of using it to replace their tasks or to generate the task that they should do it, why not use it as a partner, as so there is a pedagogical like notion in constructivism. It's called constructionism by Papert, where he said that we can use technology as as an object to think with. So I need to use AI as an object to think with, to help me with brainstorming, to help me with organizing my essay. So, for example, I'm writing a book on artificial intelligence, and I was really overwhelmed doing my dissertation. And I told that to my students. I was like, okay, how about like maybe I will see how AI suggests that to me. It was terrible. Why? Because I'm the expert. I know what I want to write about. I don't want AI to tell me how to design like this book is for experts. So AI generated an outline for me where it says, okay, so this is how we design AI. I don't want this. I want something else. Okay, so I just deleted it, or I didn't, and I was like, okay, so these are my words. I want this and this and that. Just like maybe rephrase it or something, and then I started editing it. So in order for us to, and this is why that's why I shared entangled pedagogy. In order for us to convince students to use AI as supplementary tools, we need to show them the benefits and the risks and how they can be used as students, because there is also an area in designing computers, in designing interfaces, where we say where it's called it's not an area, sorry, it's an expression. It's called the invisible interfaces, and this we have to be aware of. So when I'm using a computer and I'm a second language learner, there are many things that I don't understand. I don't understand format. What's format? What's slide? So do you imagine that? Like I'm a second language learner, high beginner, and my teacher told me to maybe create a PowerPoint presentation. If I don't know these in English, the interface will be very visible and the task will disappear. I don't understand how to do the task because the interface is not invisible. So what this theory or this notion says, when I give a user, even a native speaker, something, the interface has to be intuitive, okay? So what we do as educators is that we introduce it to them. We show them how it's used. It can be used. If it's complicated enough, maybe this can be used in another level. Okay, so we have to decide what kind of tools that we need to use. When I used ChatGPT with my high beginners, they were at the very beginning, they were confused. And I taught them how to use it. But sometimes when a learner comes to the classroom, they have many things in their minds, not only their class. And I told them, if you have any problems, just tell me. And they started asking their peers as well, which is really good also. And then they started to be familiar with it. And they said, well, we see the value of using ChatGPT. We ask it about vocabulary. We ask it about like how to pronounce this, and it helps them. So it's okay. We don't need to be frustrated at the very beginning. We need to continue going. I had to go because I had to do it because it was my dissertation. And I had to be persistent in this, and the students loved it. And I also saw that when I used the virtual reality with my students, some students were reluctant, they didn't want to use it. Other students, they said they like me, so they did it because they like me. And so they came and it's like, okay, we want to use it. They loved it so much that the students who were reluctant, they came and I was like, no, you can't use it because this is a study. You will use it afterwards. So sometimes we can use certain strategies to make students satisfied using technology. And I also saw the students who didn't use it, they were not allowed to use ChatGPT. They were jealous and they were competitive, but they memorized. So I hope I answered your question.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right,
Yeah.
Adnan, you've been waiting for a minute.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Amany, for your presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, I would
Well,
like to. I have let's say, a better proposal. Okay, you gave us a lot of different websites, but what I was waiting for from this session is to give us, as a teachers, some, let's say, practical websites, some free application and website using different AI, for example, let's say turning, for example, let's say text to video, or better, for example, some facets of using Suno, for example, how to use it. Let's say it would be better than, for example, to going and to give, let's say, a full view of this website without giving, for example, a practical. Let's say a practical session on how to use this AI. You said, for example,
uh,
that you are using ChatGPT. Another point, ChatGPT, what I really used to have in class, for example, sometimes I use it, but I find a better idea is to use other different let's say websites that are alternative to ChatGPT. For example, DeepSeek, it will provide a better and deep analysis, better than ChatGPT. You know that ChatGPT sometimes that most of the time they make it makes some, let's say, some mistakes. But I would prefer to use some others, like for example Lab, or Kimi, the Chinese one, is with better. Also, there are some other different, for example, Ed Cafe AI, which they give you a lot of different presentations that are really free. Twee also, there are, for example, a free website that using like EduLab, that at least this website provide 23 games per session that are totally free. I would like to recommend, for example, to give us a different session for the teachers on how
yeah,
to
sure.
use different free websites. Because you know that, for example, I am in Tunisia. I'm a then Virginia teacher of English in Tunisia. We cannot
Mm.
pay all these different websites since the government doesn't allow us to pay that, and it is not really possible. So please, could you provide us, for example, in a different session, a
Yeah,
free
sure.
website using AI, for example, let's say to turn text to videos and others? Yes.
Yeah, sure, sure. I can share also with you my okay, maybe I can stop sharing and then I can share my YouTube channel. Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. And I thought that this is like a presentation. I really wished because I love workshops more than presentations. But yeah, maybe it's my mistake that probably I should have done something like more in depth. But usually it's an hour. So maybe, yeah, I would love to be invited again and give um, a workshop because this is what I did. And what happened is that I gave, I invited the 200 educators in the summer, and I'm just looking for my channel, your channel. And then we went on like doing a workshop for tools for artificial intelligence. And here's the link. No, no, this is not the link. Sorry. Where is this?
Please take your time, Amany, to look up for the link. And if I may elaborate on what Adnan said, because I'm based in Tunis myself, when Adnan mentioned that we can't pay Adnan for websites, for educational purposes, there is a special card. If you can ask about it, it's called the carte technologique. So you can ask about it, and you can get access to Wonderland by paying online at still limited amount of money, but it can enable you to upgrade to any website normally after you ask your bank. This is feasible. And as for Amany, so Amany has been invited today for a webinar. She's really kind to share with us her expertise, but she's also welcome to our coffee chats, to workshops where we'll be sharing in fully in hands-on in practice and testing some of these websites. And because of the shortage of time today, so Amany was kind enough to share with us some of the things, because Amany, has been experimenting with AI and VR. But thank you, Amini, for sharing all of this.
Yeah.
Also, yes,
Sorry.
Anita. Yes.
Sorry, no, I sent you the link because I can't paste it here. So if you can paste it, I just sent it to you on Facebook.
All right, I'll do it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So there, the problem is that some companies are heading towards like charging teachers, like even Kahoot now I can't use it. But I have seen also teachers in Egypt, they collaborate together and they pay for a tool, like 10 teachers or I don't know how many teachers, and then they use it. So I think this can also be one of the ideas. To be honest, I don't pay. So ChatGPT offered 1 month free. So I just got it. I used to pay for ChatGPT in the past. Also, you can use ChatGPT without even logging in. So sometimes I do that. I actually generate, so before midterms or finals, what I do is that I take the question instructions and then one example, one question, and then I put it on ChatGPT, and then I ask it to generate 20 questions of the same thing, like present simple, and it really does it well on the one without logging in. So it's really interesting.
Correct. I know, Amani, we've kept you a little bit longer than we would have
Yeah,
loved.
it's my pleasure. Thank you.
It's been amazing, honestly. If I can ask you kind of one last question to wrap all of this up,
Yeah, sure.
and it's kind of a paraphrase on a question in the chat from Yaviri, is that, every day we're, at least for myself, every day I look on a new group, I'll see a picture with 20 AI tools for teachers. I go to another group, I'll find another 20, and go to a third group, find another 20. And there's this kind of FOMO that's going around that I have to try this one and I have to try that one.
Mm.
There's so many. But of course, we don't have the time to try all of them. And we find ourselves kind of overwhelmed by the amount of tools out there. So maybe if you can kind of gently end this session today with us on what advice can you give us on how to kind of navigate these tools? Should we dive into multiple tools and kind of, tip our toes into all of them, or should we focus on one and master it? Which would you think is better for us right now?
Okay, so for me, I would stick to one tool like ChatGPT, but I would explore others because I know my students' needs.
Mhm,
So I would use Diffit, for example. So Diffit
mhm,
is for differentiated instruction.
mhm.
Because what Diffit does, oh, I think I didn't put it. I didn't put it in the presentation. But what Diffit does is really awesome. is that it generates, so you can ask it to generate an activity with different levels,
Mhm.
and then you can change the activity into a Google form and then a quiz.
Okay.
So you can imagine like, and it does it for free. It did it for me for free.
Mhm.
Probably it may give you some activities per month or something, but I mean that's not a problem. But
Mhm.
what it did is that you can generate the activity and then change it into, so it's just a button. You click on
Mhm.
it, and then it will make it into a Google form, and then you can just change it into a quiz, and then you can put the grades, and that's it. Send it to your students. So it's really cool. So
Mhm.
I love using it, especially for reading. Um, yeah, so for me, I stick to very, very few tools. If I need a tool, because we don't need to overwhelm ourselves, okay? And also, maybe the students wouldn't be able to use it. So for me, I would stick to one tool and then explore the others. And then if I feel like one serves like a skill or a question or something, I would use it.
Mhm. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Amani.
You're
Again, it's
welcome.
been a privilege. It's been an amazing journey with you over the years. I'll
Thank you.
hand it over to Yusra, our chair, to kind of wrap things up because I know you two go back a long way.
Oh, thank you so much. So thank you for joining us today. And please, if you would like to receive your free certificate of attendance, I've dropped in the chat for you a link to fill in the survey. And this survey is not only for certificates, it's also for feedback so that we can improve our future sessions. Thank you again, Amany. Amany, you're a role model, you're a star. And I loved really being with you first with Tisa Kolayas, now having you here. And I would like to work more with you, inshallah, Amany. You're invited.
Inshallah,
The
inshallah.
door is open here for you. The AIGT stick is yours, your family. Please feel free to join us on any coffee chat or webinar. And everybody who's attending here with us today, I can see some familiar faces joining us from from the globe. And we would like maybe to have, if you don't mind, if you really want and can't enable your camera, maybe a group photo so that we can post it by the end of this year and to conclude our series of webinars. Still, we have a coffee chat upcoming, but this is our last webinar for 2025. And it would be great to have a group photo, all of us. And if you want, of course, you can enable your cameras, smile, and let's take a screenshot if you want. So we'll be waiting for you if you want to stick around. We can see some nice faces. Come on, put on a smile on it. Cheese. All right, great, great. More people coming up. Yalla Reem, Nabila, Salma, Semia, Salman, Anna. Everybody, look at these beautiful faces we have out here. You were hiding just behind your cameras. Hello, hello. All right, once you're ready, so Adam, would you take the screenshot? You're keen in doing that. All right, so 5, 4, with an emoji if you want. So I'll choose my emoji. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Thank you, everybody, and please stick around for the last coffee chat for the 2025 for the year. It will be with Dr. Nelly Dutch. It will be on the 30th of December. Join us. Thank you. The link is in the chat, and we're so glad to have you here. We're family now. And until next time, see you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, everybody.